Now on CoastTV News.
Sussex substation showdown. Why a Delaware Superior Court judge is hitting the brakes on a lawsuit over a proposed electric substation connected to the controversial offshore wind project. Plus, festive food fundraiser, how Georgetown is turning holiday celebrations into support for local families in need.
We began our Thursday in the 20s. On our way to highs in the 40s, we're tracking an Arctic front and the first flakes of the season. I'll have the latest details on timing and how much snow we can expect to see.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. Today is Thursday, December 4th. I'm Grace Eckerly and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Starting off by taking a live look into Rehoboth Beach. Looks like one gentleman on a nice walk along the boards on a pretty frigid December day. Turning now to First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono for a first look at your full forecast. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Grace. Yes, it's a beautiful morning out there. On the chilly side, we have some few high clouds rolling into the area. That's all ahead of a cold front that's going to be pushing through this afternoon. We're at 44 right now in Laurel. We're holding generally in the mid 40s, 42 Lewis, 44 Bethany Beach. We're up to 44 in Salisbury and 43 Delmar. Winds picking up a bit. Seeing that northwest wind flow anywhere between about 15 to 20 miles an hour. We'll have gusts as high as 25 throughout the afternoon. You can see the high, thin cirrus clouds filtering in. Arctic front back across Ohio and Indiana. There is some very cold air behind that front. Check out some of these temperatures. It's 0 degrees in Minneapolis. That's not a wind chill. 11 in Chicago. Some of that air we're going to tap into tonight into Friday morning. We're going to top out in the mid to upper 40s through the afternoon, then fall to around freezing by around 9. And that is going to set the stage for a round of snow by daybreak Friday. That snow will likely change to a mix and then eventually rain by Friday afternoon. I'll go more in depth with the snow and have the latest snowfall totals coming up next.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this morning is the Delaware Superior Court judge pausing a legal challenge to Sussex County's council denial of a proposed electrical substation near Millsboro, citing new state laws set to take effect next month could override the local decision. Judge Mark H. Connor issued a stay December 1st in the case brought by Renewable Redevelopment LLC. The company is challenging the council's vote of nearly a year ago that rejected its plan to build a substation to support an offshore wind project. A Wilmington man is facing a long list of charges after police say he led them on a chase Monday morning in Bethany Beach. Officers were called to a construction site for a well-being check on a construction flagger who appeared slumped over while working in the intersection, they say. When Julian Clark got into a car, and police say he took off. Then a chase ensued. Police say that Lark struck a house while driving and ran away into a dead-end cul-de-sac. Police say he then found Lark hiding under a home on Pebble Court just after 11. He was arrested and is now being held on more than $54,000 cash bail. For more details on that police chase and a full list of Lark's charges, you can head to the article on our website, CoastTV.com. And Christmas celebrations are coming to Georgetown as the annual tradition of caroling on the circle kicks off tonight. The 42nd annual event starts at 6, and it also serves as the county's yearly local food drive for local food banks. Last year, the county collected 18,000 food items for nearly 24 food organizations, and they're hoping to top that total this year. Since the event began back in the 80s, county officials say caroling on the circle has collected more than 800,000 food items for local pantries and families in need.
Well, I think this is a great way for the community to come together. I think people are looking for, especially during the holiday season, for that communal spirit to come together and at the same time share in the merriment. They want to do something that's altruistic and good and does something to benefit others in the community.
And the food drive will run through the end of December. The caroling will go from 6 to about 6:45. Then that big town tree lighting will take place at 6:55. Happening tonight, Lewis is hosting its annual hospitality nights. The city says it's a way for businesses to give back to their customers. The community event is a tradition and it's been going on for over 30 years now. This video shows 2024 stores giving out free food, drinks, and discounts for shoppers as a big thank you. People can head to 2nd Street from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. if they'd like to participate. And happening this morning in Lewis, the Rehoboth Beach Lewis Police Accountability Committee set to expand on their membership. According to their agenda, they want to expect to consider or act on the Delaware River Bay Authority joining the group. This comes as the committee was also slated to review and could potentially act on new member applications today. That committee meeting met just a few moments ago at 10 a.m. at Lewis City Hall. And a landmark moment for Salisbury. The first time ever, all 5 city council seats are held by women. The historic moment took place earlier this week when Melissa Holland was appointed to the council. She fills a District 2 seat left open last month by Deshaun Dowdy's sudden resignation. Holland says she's excited to be part of history, but she's more focused on the work ahead.
Times are changing. We have women presidents of the universities locally. Women are getting more into politics. I may not be known as well, but I want to do what's best. I've lived in this city for 27 years. I've raised my 3 kids here, and I want the city to be the best it can be.
Councilmember Sharon DeShiel tells us that it's not a good idea to have a council that's all made up of all women or all men, but she did vote in favor of appointing Holland to council in Salisbury. And stay with us on CoastTV News Midday, because after the break, neighbors are giving back. How one community in Lewis is coming together to help those in need. That's next on this week's Coastal Connections.
A mix of sun and clouds through the afternoon as our unseasonably cool temperatures continue. Then we track snow to start our Friday, and really just a mess of a Friday afternoon with a mix of sleet, rain, and snow throughout the area. Congratulations to Mary Franciotti of Dagsboro, Delaware on winning an umbrella from Coast TV. Our latest forecast is just minutes away.
It's always a good deed to help people that need it. But when a whole neighborhood comes together to do that, the community feels stronger. The donations grow larger. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson shows us how one neighborhood in Lewis is doing just that.
Neighbors in the Headwater Cove neighborhood in Lewis are giving back to food pantries, Toys for Tots, and the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
It's really a nice thing. And it's also become more of a contagious kind of a thing, too.
Steve McTaggart's wife, Wendy, volunteered the couple to start the donations this June.
Once a month or so, when it gets full, we go deliver them. So we deliver them to the Cape Penelope Food Basket or the Community Resource Center in Rehoboth. And then we work with the Georgetown SPCA to drop off donations for the animals.
McTaggart gets the attention of his neighbors in the Headwater Cove Facebook group with a hat of the day and a list of what the food pantries accepts. Heidi Spinelli has called Headwater Cove home since January. Spinelli says the community has grown so much closer by coming together to give back.
After one day, we had collected over $400. So my neighbor Marcia and I and my husband Vic decided, let's go to BJ's and see what we could buy with this $400. Well, from the time we drove to BJ's, it had gone up to $650. We had to make 2 trips to the food pantry with our SUV full. So it was a great, rewarding experience.
The community donated Thanksgiving food baskets, and now their eyes are on Christmas.
We are having Toys for Tots, that we're bringing toys in for the kids that needs a little bit brighter Christmas.
These donations aren't seasonal. Spinelli says there's more to give back than just food, items that are essential.
Then we do have some plans to do some future projects, for example, personal products for women, because that's something that's never talked about and is so expensive. So that'll be one of our New Year's resolutions, to make sure that we do that.
Neighbors tell us there's no end in sight to the community giving back. For Coastal Connections, I'm Brandon Ferguson.
Well, we're tracking our first flakes of the season into our Friday morning. It's not going to be a big storm. It's going to be enough to maybe get us more in the Christmas spirit across the area and cause maybe some slick conditions as we go through the morning tomorrow. We're looking live in through Cambridge, 45 degrees. Few high cirrus clouds building in. Temperatures right now are holding in the mid to upper 40s. We're at 45 Long Neck, 43 in Redden, 45 Willards, and 44 in Ocean City. Winds are picking up a bit out of the northwest. We'll see some gusts as high as 25 miles an hour over the next few hours, so not much of a wind chill out there at this hour. We have small craft advisories up for the Chesapeake Bay as well as the Atlantic, all the way down the Delmarva coast through midnight tonight, and those will then expire. Winter weather advisories to our southwest across portions of Richmond down through North Carolina. That's really going to be the bullseye for this storm system that's going to be rolling in Friday. We're going to be kind of on the northern periphery of it, and there's the Arctic front now pushing through Ohio, some very cold air behind that. And then there's our area of low pressure near just to the east of Houston, beginning to gather moisture. And this system is going to push off the Carolina coast as we go into the day tomorrow. So partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. Fall to 36 by around 7, making your round to Georgetown for the Christmas parade. Dress warm. Still going to be rather windy out there, at least through the onset of the evening. Overnight, we fall to 24 Georgetown, 27 Rehoboth, 26 as clouds increase ahead of that snow threat tomorrow morning. Briefly, we'll have wind chills in the teens and 20s. I think the winds aren't looking as intense as they were recently looking in earlier runs through tomorrow morning. So the light snow breaks out by daybreak Friday. We're going to see some slick conditions over the few hours in the morning, and then expecting that snow to change over to rain through the afternoon. Not a big storm, but some light accumulations are expected. So there's the snow breaking out by daybreak Friday. You can see pretty much everyone starts as snow. Temperatures are in the upper 20s further inland, right around the freezing mark across the coast. Then as we go into the afternoon, notice the precip gets a bit more spotty in nature, but notice the temperatures are surging into the 30s and 40s. So we're going to be dealing with some rain at the coast, maybe some mix further inland. Just going to be a really sloppy afternoon, some slushy conditions around, very raw as we have more of an east wind that's going to be developing through the afternoon. So the best chance of seeing up to an inch would be across portions of the southwest portions of the peninsula, and then we're looking at less than a coating across the coast. We clear out through the weekend, and we're looking at chilly, dry conditions with temperatures in the 40s. We stay below average through December 9th through the 11th across much of the east. We have the yellow alert in play for that accumulating snow. Light accumulations expected across the area, coating to an inch. We have dry conditions for the weekend, and then temperatures falling back in the upper 30s early next week.
Thank you, Chris. And some things to know with winter weather upon us. Delmarva Power is providing tips on how to stay winter ready. They say that neighbors should check for poorly sealed areas, upgrade insulation, manage thermostats, and use sunlight to help warm homes and keep costs low. The company also says you should keep emergency kits up to date and use generators safely. And coming up tonight on DSN at 8:30, it's boys high school basketball when Saints Peter and Paul host Archbishop Curley. Then catch that final score at 10:30 p.m. On DSN Plus, they also have these exclusives at 4 p.m. Sussex Tech faces Sussex Academy in girls basketball. At 5 p.m. Woodbridge travels McKean. And in boys basketball, the same two schools meet in girls basketball in Bridgeville. And coming up this week in Sunday night football, the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Houston Texans in week 14 of the regular season. You can watch that game right here on CoastTV. Then stay tuned after the game for CoastTV News. Plus, here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Hope you're having a fantastic day so far, but if you join us today at 4 on Coast Life, here's what's coming your way. We are talking about the Farm to Table Scholarship opportunity with our friends at Mount Air Farms. Definitely something you don't want to miss. And the holiday season is also the season of giving. And we've got ways for you to give back and help out those in our area who are unhoused and need a little bit of an extra hand this time of year. So all of that and so much more is coming your way today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
We're continuing with our Bless Our Children campaign. As you can see, we are receiving your cards and donations. We're placing your cards on this tree, but there's still plenty of room for you to send in a donation to help us raise money to ensure that every child on Delmarva has that special present to open this Christmas time of the year. And I'm going to place this card on our tree. We received this one here. This is coming to us from the Saints of Mission Baptist Church in Georgetown. Thank you so much for your donation. Businesses can help by accepting the Shell Brothers Challenge of donating at least $1,000. And if you want to help, send a donation in a holiday card, and we may just read it on the air. Send a check or money order to the address on your screen or donate online at blessourchildren.org.
We have already raised almost $200,000 to help children and families this holiday season. Again, we'd like to thank everyone who has donated. And it's time to showcase how you're decorating your homes this holiday season. Today's Hollywood holiday house picture is this beautiful tree. You can barely see it because Donna and Bree's name's covering a little bit, but they have the most beautiful velvet bow at the top. That is just an absolutely beautifully gorgeous, glamorous tree. Thank you again to Donna and Bree for sending this in. And if you'd like your festive decorations to be shared in our broadcast, take a look at your screen. Send us in your photos by heading to our website, coasttv.com/holidayhouse.
You can always call our First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast, and your 10-day forecast shows that yellow alert in play for our first flakes of the season. Friday morning, a period of light snow could be coming down moderate at times. We're looking at a general coating to an inch across the peninsula, with that snow transitioning to a mix of sleet and rain by the afternoon. A messy Friday on our hands.
That's for sure. Well, thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us at home for Coast TV News Midday. If you like more local news or weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. And don't forget to join us back here at 5 later this afternoon. Until then, have a great day.